Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is our year in review video. We're going to talk about the best of the best and the worst of the worst within our fandom. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so the best movies that came out this year, in no particular order, and all film is subjective, all art is subjective, so these are only my opinions. If you disagree with any of them, let me know in the comments below, and we'll talk about it. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Let's get down to it. No particular order. Dune is one of the best this year. The adaptation of this film from book to film was actually pretty good. It stayed as true to the book as it could. Sure, they changed a couple things, but that's to be expected. Now, then we have Halloween Kills. And Halloween Kills is a fun film. Very fun, in fact. I thought it was great. There are several people I've heard online and stuff say that they didn't like the film, but it's fast-paced for what it is. And I look forward to seeing where they go in the future with the franchise. It's definitely a good entry, and I look forward to Halloween Ends coming out, I believe, this year. So, there's that. Next up is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. The Venom movie actually proved to be a pretty interesting saga to begin with, as a lot of people didn't think the original movie was going to do that great at the box office, and it did amazing. To everyone's surprise, it did absolutely amazing. And the second one, people who liked the first one will definitely enjoy the second one. And if you haven't had a chance to see that movie yet, it's never too late to catch a good movie. So go ahead and watch that. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll enjoy it. It's an excellent movie. Next up is one that I saw not too long ago. I missed the initial run of it, but I actually saw it a few days ago, and that is Free Guy. Free Guy is this funny little film that kind of, flew a little under the radar. A lot of people didn't think they would enjoy this film, and it's a fun little comedy. Basically, the plot of it goes, there's this guy that lives in a video game world. He doesn't know that he's an NPC. Suddenly, he starts to become a little more self-aware. He starts to fall in love with a player, at which point he decides that he's going to do what these players do, only he don't know what a player is. So he goes through this movie leveling up and becoming essentially a legend within his own game. It's a fun little movie. You can do a lot worse than it. Check it out. After that, we have Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is one of those films that came out of nowhere in the MCU during a time when people were not going to the theater as much, and proved that you could go back to the theater and see a decent movie. Perhaps one of the more fun of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. It takes itself not so seriously, and it's pretty funny at that. Next up, we have Spider-Man Far From Home. Of course, you know all about this movie. Brand new movie as of now, out at theaters, but it is one of the best this year. It makes our list. It's a very nostalgic type of film, bringing back villains from various Spider-Man movies of the past. I can't spoil too much, but to tell you that you will walk out of the film feeling good, somewhat, and you will actually enjoy the movie as a whole. So check it out. And last on our best of the best is Ghostbusters Afterlife. This film is nostalgic all the way across the board, and it's not a bad thing. It once again proves that fans will go back to see an old shoe. You know, it is that old shoe that you have, that you put on, and you absolutely forgot how well it fit you and how nice it felt. This is that movie. So definitely check that out if you're an old school Ghostbusters fan. You're probably going to enjoy it, or at least find some elements in it that make you feel really nostalgic and make you want to watch the old ones at the very least. Now the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst in no particular order, we have Ode. Ode by M. Night Shyamalan is one of the worst films I think I've ever seen, unfortunately. I don't have a whole lot nice to say about the movie. Essentially, it's about these people who go to a beach on a resort. And on this beach, the longer you stay, the older you get. And it's super crazy because it has the M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end, but by the time the twist comes along, you really didn't care. It just moves way too slow for what it is, but that's typical of an M. Night Shyamalan film. Maybe if you're a fan, you'll enjoy the film more than I did. Next is Escape Room, The Game of Champions. This movie didn't need to really be made. They could have gone on from the first one without trying to explore the origins of everything more. This film picks up after the first Escape Room movie. However, the film kind of tries to expand on the origin of everything we knew and what we didn't know, and it doesn't work in regards to it. It just slows everything down. The movie's very Saw-like to begin with, the first one was, and this one tries to do the same, but it doesn't really live up to its expectations. And I'm sorry to say that, but it doesn't. Next up is Thunder Force, where Melissa McCarthy plays a superhero. She has this friend who's a scientist working on a project. She messes up the project, becomes a superhero. The movie just doesn't deliver on what it could have been. If you're a fan of Melissa McCarthy, potentially you enjoy this movie, but I don't know. I personally didn't enjoy it. Then we have Space Jam: The New Legacy. Space Jam: A New Legacy is just really slow to me. It doesn't focus as much as I would like it to have on the Looney Tunes characters, and the villain is not really that great. However, you may like it, and it may make you feel nostalgic if you did like the original movie. So don't take my word for it. Go ahead and check it out anyway. Next is Coming to America 2. This is another movie I felt like we didn't need to have made. Coming to America 2 adds nothing to the story. It picks up years later, and we see him coming back to America. And I don't know. The whole thing feels a little forced. It feels like it was a money grab to me. I didn't particularly enjoy the film or find it particularly funny. But then again, if you disagree, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what parts of the movie you enjoyed and what made it worthwhile for you. Then we have Wrong Turn 2021, which is the reboot, somewhat, I guess. Has nothing to do with the original at all. And I felt like without any of the original ideas, the movie actually flopped. It's more of a hidden society, pilgrim, weird thing going on. It just makes it, I don't know. It lost me about halfway through, to tell you the truth. And I had to watch it again just to get through it and actually be fair about it. But the movie isn't all that great. And that's my opinion. Maybe you enjoyed this better than the original Wrong Turns. Let me know. Then we have The Many Saints of Newark. This is a Sopranos prequel. I feel it goes way too far back. I would have liked to have seen a Sopranos prequel where we get to see young Tony Soprano actually running the mob. But this takes us all the way back to what made Tony Soprano. And that's the way they market it. So it should have been good. But I felt like it took us way too far back in time. It's an okay movie, but for the reasons I stated, it made my worst list of the year. Now, the last one is a Bruce Willis, Megan Fox movie that also has Machine Gun Kelly. It's Midnight in the Switchgrass, and it has every cliche, I feel, of a suspenseful movie. It doesn't ever really fully deliver on what it should have been or could have been with the cast. We have Bruce Willis in the movie. I expect a lot better quality of movie. And this really just didn't deliver. Now, maybe you enjoyed this movie a lot more than I did. Definitely let me know. Next, we'll move on to the best of streaming and TV. And I only have a few. Squid Game, of course, was the bomb. Everybody loved it. It topped all the ratings. So definitely check that one out if you haven't seen it. I thought it was pretty good. Then you have the Book of Boba Fett, which literally just started streaming, and the first episode's pretty amazing. I recommend you check that out as well. And then, of course, there's Loki. Loki kind of has this Doctor Who timey-wimey type of thing going on some of the time. Very, very sci-fi within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's a streaming TV show. You find it on Disney+. Check it out. That's what I have to say about that. So we'll jump on to my recommended of the year that you may not have seen. I have one movie that I recommend. If you haven't seen, you go ahead and check it out. That's The Green Knight. It's based on an old book. If you haven't read, or an old story anyway, if you haven't read it, go ahead and check it out and then watch this movie. It's not your typical medieval type of movie, and it's got a moral within it that you can find, so go ahead and watch that. I found it to be great. So then, what's happened in the year of news? We had Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito stuff going on. Of course, both of them proved to be dead. Brian Laundrie, they believe, killed Gabby Petito. We'll never get answers because then he apparently killed himself. Then we have Britney being free of her conservatorship after 13 years. Free Britney finally happened, so yay on that. And then, of course, you have the fact that Captain Kirk, William Shatner himself, went to space. And Bennifer is back, so go J-Lo and Ben Affleck for being a couple again. I look forward to everything that they have going on, and I wish them nothing but the best. That being said, this is where we're going to end this video, but make sure you're sharing this video with all of your friends so they get the same great content you're getting. And like, subscribe. Miko thinks we need more subscribers. And definitely hit that notification bell so you know when we do our next video. On this channel, we're your one-stop shop for all things positive in your fandom, and a portion of all proceeds from this channel will go to Tourette's research when we are monetized eventually. And that's something you could be proud of, changing the world one video at a time. That's our goal. And remember, friends, it's New Year's Day as I'm shooting this video, so be safe out there on your trip tonight. Have a safe and happy New Year. And remember, friends, at the end of the day, fandom is family.